Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are back again. Yes, me, B. Avery, with just my opinion reviews, and Miss Kimberly Curran talking Ruth and Boaz, another Tyler Perry produced film. This one right here came out on Netflix September 2025. Modern day retelling of one of the most iconic love stories in the Bible. A young woman escapes the Atlanta music scene to care for an elderly widowed woman and in the process finds the love of her life and gains the mother she never had. Guys, we're talking spoilers. Okay, we're talking spoilers up, down, left, right, in and out, as if you've already seen the film. That is your warning. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We'll get all out. We'll get into all of that. Kimberly, Ruth and Boaz, like the synopsis said, adapted retelling of the greatest love story in the Bible. I know we are both Christians over here. How did you feel about this film? Your expectations, anticipations going in, and if you think it was a worthy retelling and or adaptation of the biblical story?
Yeah, I gotta say, whenever Hollywood gets their hands on a biblical story, it can be very scary unless it's done by, the producers of The Chosen or somebody or the War Room, someone that knows what a war room is, somebody that knows what it's like to, have Jesus not only be your savior but your Lord. It's when Hollywood gets a hold of biblical things, I think of like you either get the great guys that produce the things I just mentioned, or you get like I think Moses with Christian Bale and
Oh God,
Noah
that
with Russell Crowe, was it? So I actually was a little bit nervous, but I gotta say, I really like this, Brandon, and I thought that this was a wonderful retelling of, like, Ruth and Boaz. Like, I really liked it, and I love that it took place in, Vineyard because that's actually so close to kind of the original story when it talks about Ruth going into the fields and Boaz having favor upon her. I was actually waiting for this scene. I was like, "Is she gonna lay at his feet? Like, how's that gonna work?"
mm, mm, wow.
But I really, really enjoyed this, and I'm like, it's a good retelling because it's like this is for modern day. We only have 2 hours, and we kind of want to make it so that a younger generation kind of understands the story of Ruth and Boaz. And I thought they did a really good job.
Wow. Okay. That is
Yeah.
not what I expected you to say. I'm also trying to look up the movie that you just described as with Christian Bale as
Oh
Moses.
my
I know what you're talking
God.
about. The title is just slipping me. Kim, when did you see? How many times have you seen this movie, Ruth and Boaz?
I watched it once
Okay.
and then I did kind of a review. Sometimes if I had a lot going on in the week between when I first reviewed a movie and when we shoot,
Uh
I'll
huh.
like speed through it. Like I'll watch the whole 2 hours in like 10 to 15 minutes. I'll like watch a little, fast forward, watch a little just to give myself a refresher. So I did kind of a one and a half.
There's a reason why I asked. Before that,
Yeah.
I think he was talking about Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Oh, thank you. Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Yeah, I hated this movie.
Christian Bale. I mean, I love Ridley Scott, but what? Hollywood just abuses biblical stories so
This
badly.
this is true. The reason why I asked how many times you've seen it is I was under the impression that you've just seen this movie once, and it must have been recently, right before we're doing this recording, because this movie came out in September of 2025, and we're recording this towards the end of October. And the
I
reason
saw it last week.
yeah, I'm surprised because when we've been talking about this, you show no interest in reviewing this movie.
I was not interested.
Every time it came up, you would turn up your face and just be like and discuss like, Ruth and Boaz on Netflix, Tyler Perry. Can what other options do we have? Can we save this for the last? And you
I
were
was scared. I was so scared. I was scared of
oh my gosh.
one, the title, but also I gotta say I like how this film played. Like his name was Bo Azra. Like
Right,
I
right.
even like the way they did the names. I was like, okay, I like that his name wasn't just straight up Boaz and I gotta tell people, I went to Free Chapel for a really long time. My pastor was Jensen Franklin, so I was there during the whole, God may send you, Boaz's cousin, late as or broke as or that was my pastor. And that was so funny sitting in the pews being like, "Oh my god, did he just say that?"
Hilarious.
Boaz's cousin,
Yeah.
dumbass.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
every time you mentioned it, I was like, "Here we go again," and
Yeah.
they're gonna call it Ruth and Boaz, like, they're not gonna call it kinsman or, like, kinsman redeemer, like, Katie,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, but, I was surprised.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, I think towards the end, you was like, I guess we can do it. And I was like, thank you.
I
I
was
appreciate it.
reluctant, to say
And
the least.
yeah, not mad at you. And to be honest with you, this movie was a mixed bag for me. There was, things that I really did enjoy. Um, as far as a just a skeleton of the original story, I thought they succeeded there as far as the casting, Ruth and Boaz, their relationship, how Ruth wanted to follow Naomi, Boaz's lineage and how he was a landowner, etc. I think they knocked that out of the park. And for the acting, for the most part, did work for me.
It was very decent.
Yeah, I thought that Ruth and Boaz looked like a good couple.
Mhm.
I think their romance was sped up a bit, and we'll talk about that in a second. I did like the villain, Psy,
Yeah.
great devil. But I have my issues as well. The beginning of this movie is much better than the end. When I was watching, when I saw it the first time when it first came out, I was like, okay, I got to review it. Another Tyler Perry movie, but I didn't really have interest, and the movie was more watching me than I was watching it. And
Mhm.
I didn't feel comfortable doing a review at the time because I was like, I don't feel like watching this again. I have to be accurate. I can't just be guessing. I have to pay attention. But I didn't have any interest. But we started to do this Tyler Perry project, and so I said, okay, let me go back. And when I was rewatching it this second time, I said to myself, yeah, I'm liking this much better than the first time around. Like some of these relationships really do feel genuine, especially between Felicia Rashad's character, Naomi, and Eli. I thought that was great. The scene where they was in bed and they didn't like zoom in on this, but as they were in bed and she was taking her medication
I thought that
and
was
he was
cute.
like he was a bit rude, and he was in the back doing his insulin shots. They didn't zoom in on that, but if you paid attention, you can notice it. And that just seemed really natural to me. And they're getting bed. It wasn't graphic, it wasn't over the top, but that was about to get it on as a married couple should. And I was smiling.
I thought it was endearing.
Yes, I was looking at like, oh, I want that myself. When
An older married couple,
yes,
because
yes,
often we see like, "Oh, come on, woman, leave me alone,"
right, right.
and I thought that was really, really sweet.
Yes, he was ready. It was really sweet. It wasn't. I mean, I don't want to use. I was gonna say. Well, anyway, I really did like it. How you feel that right there? Ooh, I mean, it was adorable. It wasn't like cruel. You know what I'm saying? Like it was. Like I feel like a little child could watch that with their parents or grandparents and it not be awkward. Because sometimes when you're coming up in a certain age, watching the sex scene with your certain, it's just like, oh, okay, this is weird for all parties involved. I don't feel that was the case here. I thought it was well done. And
Endearing.
so when the crap really hit the fan and she lost her son and her husband at the same time, oh, it hit like a ton of bricks. I was really feeling for her, Kim.
Mm.
Your reaction there, if any, if
Oh, that was heartbreaking because I was like, in the beginning, I was like, "Wait, who's this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. The husband and the son, need to, you know, go." I mean, Naomi was already a widow, but had 2 daughters, but so I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. That means we're gonna have to watch these guys downfall somehow." And I thought the way they did it was very well written because it made sense. Um, it totally made sense, but I was so heartbroken because they were so likable. Felicia Rashad, Naomi's husband was so likable. Her son, he seemed like a good guy,
And
good
Marley.
kid, and it made carjacking, it made sense, it wasn't too crazy and far-fetched, and, I like the way the story rolled along from the beginning. I was really with it. I was like,
Yeah,
instead of going, "Oh god, here we go, Hollywood," I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was drastic, it was abrupt, but sometimes life can hit you like that, you know? We
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
I mean, whether you got a flat tire, your car is stolen, someone takes your lunch, you're in an accident, plane hits a building, a 9/11. We wake up, we don't know what's gonna happen. And so, I mean, she's retired, you know? She wants her son to get married and be fruitful and multiply, and, she has her husband, and then all of a sudden, she loses the 2 most important people to her, and she loses her house, all her possessions. What I also like is pretty much all Tyler Perry produced films, God, your relationship with God,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus Christ is an underlying theme. And sometimes your relationship with God is not always sunshine and rainbows. We know that He has a plan that we don't understand. And Kimberly, gosh darn it, it can be frustrating at times. So when she's mourning and depressed in her a Tennessee home, and Ruth is trying to console her. Just out of nowhere, she just goes into rage, starts slamming doors, throwing suitcases, rips the cross off the wall. I am done with you, God. And it's like, damn,
Yeah,
that's crazy. But I felt her, because life can be like that sometimes.
absolutely.
Knock that out of the park. Thoughts,
Yeah.
thoughts.
No, I mean, captured grief, and I like movies that, capture the true Christian walk, that it's so anyone that tells you, like, "Oh, be a Christian because it's so easy, it's so chill," is lying to you. Because when you read the Bible, it says that being a Christian is not for the faint of heart. It
Mm,
takes an extra dose of courage. The reason we have books like Lamentations and certain chapters in Psalms where you're like, wow, homeboy's mad at God. Like, there's a lot of lamenting in the Bible. There's a lot of questioning God in the Bible. There's a lot of why God, why I'm mad at you. I love that if you really read the Bible, it's very truthful. And it's very truthful in telling you that it rains on the just and the unjust alike. Being a Christian doesn't take you out of the running for trauma
right.
and grief. Being a believer it doesn't make it so that you'll never have pain. And so I like that they were realistic that if you're a Christian that's walked with the Lord a long time, pretty much everyone that has for a long time, you have a story about when you maybe tore your cross off the wall, or you put your Bible in a drawer and was like, slam the door shut, where you had your moments where you're like, I so don't understand. I don't want to talk to you. Like, I don't want to talk to you, God. Like,
Right.
and God's big enough to handle that. And I like it when movies don't sugarcoat it. I loved her frustration because it was very real and her anger was real.
Yeah.
And Felicia Rashad, again, homegirl, just so talented. Brandon, she's so freaking talented. I love her so much.
I love her too.
Gosh, I love her.
Her.
And I'm so glad that she's still working later into her life, because she's one of those people that I don't want to not see her for 20 years and go, "Oh, there she is." I like that she does a lot of continuous work. We need that because we need her. True artist.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. She was actually one of my favorite characters in the movie. I do have a nitpick as far as her character is concerned, but we will come to that when we get to the negatives. But staying on the positives, for the most part, I did like Ruth. I think that she
Yeah.
was a pretty decent character. Hopefully, I get her pronunciation right when I'm trying to say her name. I believe it is Soraya.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Actress, recording artist. Let me know if you're familiar with her. She was in Kingdom Business and Empire. I liked her.
That's where I see. Oh, Empire. I was trying to think, Brandon. I was like, I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm like, where have I seen her? Where have I seen? I saw her in something years ago and I couldn't put my finger on it. Empire.
There you
Okay, that's
go.
okay. There it is. I was like, where have I seen this girl?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right, Empire. Yes.
We talked about what was one of the last movies we reviewed? I Can Do Bad All by Myself.
Mhm.
And you did like the Hispanic gentleman. You was cheering for him. Ooh, he looks good. That's how I feel about this young lady right here.
Oh, lovely.
She was very attractive, very attractive.
Very beautiful.
Um,
And Brandon, may I say,
yes,
the wig was great.
I will give that to you. Do I have a there we go. I hit the right button. I hit the right button. Okay.
It didn't fall into my disappointment,
There
well of Tyler Perry's most terrible wigs ever. I will say it thickened throughout the movie. I was like, "Ooh, that jojoba oil is doing its thing because girlfriend's hair is thick."
yeah.
But I mean, she did go to a tougher climate, so, you
Yeah,
know,
I liked
it works, it works.
I liked her work ethic. She was very passionate. She wanted to follow her heart and her dream. I kind of felt bad for her with her backstory. She never knew her father. Mother left her, I believe, on the porch when she was 5 years old.
On the steps of police department or something.
Yeah, she said she was within 3 foster homes by the time she was 15. That's rough,
It's rough.
and a lot of people don't recover from such lifestyles. She seemed like she was, doing pretty decent, sound body and mind, had a beautiful voice, was kind soul. And I like at one point, going for in the second to third act, she was about to sing or perform. I think it was for Babyface when they was
Oh,
practicing.
I liked that.
So we're gonna come back to that. And he was like, "Sing from the heart or your mind or your soul or something." And then they showed some scenes of her in the back of the cop car and being transferred from home to home, etc. I really did like that touch. It did make me feel for her character. And she wasn't the wisest, and we'll get to this in a second, but she was ready to work. She was like, "Hey, I'm trying to stomp some grapes. I'm trying to crush some grapes. I'm gonna work through my breaks. I'm gonna work through my lunch. I ain't trying to holler at nobody, get no boo thing. Leave me alone." How'd you feel about Ruth in this film?
I really liked her. I liked that they told a very true portrayal of, like, there's some people that it's a walk with Christ, right? So, when you're doing a walk, you start somewhere and you journey through, and then you end up somewhere. But the great thing about walking with Christ is it never has to end. But in this life here on earth, it's a journey. It's a finite journey, and so I like that she started on stage wearing stuff she necessarily didn't want to wear, singing stuff she knew was kind of wrong. She's like, "These men are throwing money at us. Like, we're about to get naked. Like, this isn't what I want." But I like that it was truthful to the journey. Sometimes we may, especially that's why Christians, I'm like, I hate it when Christians can be hypocritical. I'm like you ain't never done something you didn't want to do. Like you weren't right in the middle of sin, but you weren't spiritually mature enough to see the way out, because the word does say that God will give you a way out of temptation. Every temptation you face has an exit door, every single one, no matter how powerful it seems. But it takes spiritual maturity to start locating the exit door. After 41 years, I'm at the point where honey, I'm looking for the exit door before when I'm in a situation. But let me tell you, I stumbled so much in my walk. And so I like that it was truthful that you can love the Lord and be lacking in spiritual maturity. And that's not to be judged, that's to be nurtured. That's why it's important for us to pray for one another, not just like, oh, God, healer, helper, but it's like God praying for wisdom for your friends, praying that your eyes would be open, that the eyes of your understanding would be open. That's why it's said in John 15:5 to I'm the vine and you are the branches. Remain in me. So I like that it was her walk and it was truthful, because at the core of who she was a good woman, just walking out her maturity. And I liked that when she was like not really dressed for harvesting, didn't have on the right shoes, like stuck out like a sore thumb. I really liked that she was like, you know what? It's work. I'll do it. And I think there's this perception that because people are on behind the camera or on the stage, that you think you're too good for something.
Right, right, right.
And there's a lot of people that are. It's like I don't care what I've done. Like I was watching an interview with Giancarlo Esposito, and after Do the Right Thing, and after School Days and all the films, he had times in his career where he was driving a taxi.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wait, but you were on screen and you were doing this," and it's like, honestly, don't let that fool you. It's really, are people willing to humble themselves and roll up their sleeves and do what they gotta do to pay their bills? And I loved Ruth's journey.
Yeah.
I thought it was very truthful.
Yeah. Same here. Well said. And when you said that some people would perceive you like or think of you, oh, they're too good to do hard labor,
Yeah.
farming, harvesting because they're on the stage, behind the camera, etc. I'm sure we can all relate to that in some degree. I've gotten those comments before. I remember in college, one of my somebody I knew, they was under the impression that I never cut the lawn growing up. Like, I bet you never had to cut the lawn, or I bet you never did chores. I'm like, where is this coming from? Yes, I was mowing the lawn. I think maybe 9 or 10 years old, but I did it. Like any other normal kid at that time.
Yeah.
So it's just funny.
Yeah, that's
It's funny.
crazy.
You say-
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
on screen, but I've also worked in an office, and I'm working corporate right now. Like, I'm not auditioning. I'm not doing anything on or behind the screen other than podcasting. Like, I like watching people just live and learning different sides of people. That's what another thing I liked, is that even though she was so talented, it's like, yes, I can sing. Yes, I'm talented, but what do you do all day? You must be in the recording studio. You must be like popping champagne. It's like, I work in a vineyard picking grapes, bruh. Like, my spare time, I hang out with Babyface.
So you are picking grapes. We find out that the name Boaz, he is the owner of the winery in Tennessee. And I can't remember the name. I think it started with a P, Pennington or Penton or something like that. Penton, Tennessee. Y'all help me out in the comments. But his father passed away, unfortunately, of cancer. Hardworking man, had that bobcat, drove it till the wheels fell off. But now he took it over. I really did like Boaz in this film. Marines, served 2 tours. What else did he do? Got his
He
master
worked on
for the
Wall
MBA,
Street.
worked
Yeah.
on Wall Street, you know what I'm saying? Had it together. Now he's trying to get this winery off right here. You can tell he did his pull-ups and all that stuff like that. He can fix the roof, handyman, making the ladies sweat and stuff. Yeah, Naomi was like, I think you need a hose. I like Boaz. How did you feel about Mr. Boaz?
I really liked him. I liked that. I liked the little subtle prayer when he's like, "Lord, bless this fruit." I like that because it's like that was also very truthful to prayer. Whoever wrote this is like really got an interesting story, I imagine. Like, because sometimes prayer is a simple thing. It's not like, let me get on my knees, let me cross myself, where's my oil? Sometimes it's like, Lord, bless this fruit. Just giving everything you've got, putting everything in God's hands. It's just, they're simple little conversations. It doesn't have to be fancy. And I really like that. I like that he, went from the office to the fields, so to speak. And I really, something I Brandon, being out here in California, where we've got Napa, we've got a beautiful wine country out here. I know wine is everywhere. Washington, there's vineyards, like I know wine is everywhere, but like one of my favorite places to go is Napa, or up in the Central Coast, like Paso Robles and San Luis Obispo. Like I love going to wineries. I've been doing it for years, and something they touched on that I want more people to talk about is black owned wineries. They are out there, and I've been to a few, and the conversation I'm always like, if I'm in an area where I know there's a black owned winery, I always go. But one of the conversations is, yeah, it's tough out here. They don't think we can do it. They don't think we can make good wine. They don't think we know what we're doing. They don't think we're sophisticated enough. Look how few that is, 9.
Yeah.
But we out here,
This is
we're here. So
my area
yeah,
too. So
yeah. Oh yeah, they're all over the US. So I just love that this film touched on that. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
I
Very relevant.
Black-owned wineries, guys. Let's get the Google searching, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go, you guys, go support Black-owned wineries.
So we can go on picnics like this right
Yeah.
here with the
Oh!
wine. You know what I'm saying? Kim, they look good together.
Oh, I love it. The
Yeah,
flannel and the oh, look at they I like that they're having conversations. It's like watching Black people frolic. I love it. I love it.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just I like this love story because it's so realistic. And Brandon, I gotta say this scene where he's washing her feet,
Yes.
I if anyone went to, like, Oral Roberts University, I went to Oral Roberts University, an evangelical Christian university, or anyone that went to Rhema or, like, even Azusa, like, something that was kind of a running joke on campus because it was, like, an evangelical university is, like, every time somebody got engaged, like, the guy would, like, wash her feet. Like, that happened all over campus. My friend has the funniest story of this girl he was not interested in pouring oil on her feet on his feet. And he was like, "Woman, leave me alone." Myron, Myron, you know who you are. But going to a Christian school, like I've seen many feet washed, but I actually thought it was romantic because he's like, we ain't gonna stomp these grapes with unwashed feet. Like, I thought that was crushing. I thought the crushing was crushing. I thought it was so cute. Oh, I can't hear you.
My bad. I had the mute
Oh,
button.
there you go.
It was my fault. It was cute at the beginning, but towards the end, it was kinda corny. Like when there was like, "I wanna crush with you forever." I was like, "Oh gosh." I mean, I'm corny
Crushing.
myself,
I
but
be
it was
crushing.
yeah. You're silly. And guys, I don't know if Kim got her feet washed on campus, so
No, I didn't. No,
what a way you said it. So sh
no. I was washing my own feet.
those those DMs are open, guys. But no,
People are like, I got palm olive in a bucket, girl. What you got?
so that's funny. Hopefully, the can of worms that I opened just now wasn't too big, but maybe a few
It
can get
never
through.
is.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. Now, so the romance was cool. We did like the romance. I don't wanna come to the negatives yet, but, we gotta come back to the romance. Cyrus, James Lee Thomas, the devil that was screaming at
Oh,
Bree like, "But where is he?" And also to be honest with you, before I bring this up, in a sense, he's not wrong. If they have a contractual obligation,
yeah.
and I don't know if he really did invest $250,000 into her, that seems a
Oh,
bit excessive and foolish. But if he's paying her rent and doing this and doing that, I don't think it's ethical for you just to bail. You know, he was like,
no.
"Okay, let's just work to the end of your contract, and then you can do your thing. Just because things aren't working out, you just can't be like, 'Alright, peace, I'm out,' and then you leave in the middle of an eight-figure deal where James Dupree is in the booth. He is doing what he says he's gonna do. I mean, he's
Yeah.
getting one of the best producers in the game in the room with you.
Yeah, he's not stringing her along with empty promises,
Right.
like,
Like, hey, he's not like, "Okay, just shake your ass a little bit more, just sleep with this guy one more
"Nah,
time," and
so
then
Jeff is in the building.
I mean, the man is right there, James Dupree,
Jermaine."
and you just gonna be like, "I ain't feeling this no more. I quit
Yeah.
for" um, that's not right. I'm not a music producer. I'm not a business expert. I may not know how all of it works, but just on the surface, that doesn't seem right. Now, he shouldn't be going around murdering and threatening people. No, he's the devil for that. But thoughts on all that so far, Kim? I'm
Bruh, I something I like that again, that I thought they did very realistically, and I have to really give it up, to the director, her name I have to shout her out. I was looking at her
oh, I'm
work
I'm so bad at that.
earlier.
I'm
No,
I had it up too.
let's look
Nina
up her
Brown.
name because I wanna give her her,
It is right here, the
uh
director.
Alana Brown, and the writers were Michael Elliott and Corey Tynan. I really want to give it up to them because something I thought that was very realistic was the way he threatened her. He wasn't like holding up her up against the wall and punching the wall and missing her face by an inch. Like he wasn't like a lot of times like threats are very subtle and
Yeah.
sinister. And I actually thought they got that very realistic. Like he really was just threatening her through conversation. And I thought that was more realistic than like, "Hey girl."
Right, right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some dramatic, like crazy, like people who are really sinister, and that's that's actually more so realistic. Like this is very easy. Like it was supposed to be a simple carjacking, but
Yeah.
you didn't follow your end of the bargain, and next time it'll be your little mother-in-law over there.
Yeah.
I thought that was very realistic
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, like your little revelation in life can't get you out of a contract. Like that's when you pray for a lawyer. That's when you pray for a revised contract. That's when you pray over negotiations. Because if you piece out, like generally, like he could have just taken her to court, but yeah, it wasn't really ethical for her to just jump out. But I mean, any with prayer, anything can happen. So yeah, I think that segues into something you were going to talk about. So I don't feel like I'm jumping. Is
Yes, perfect.
Homegirl was not being very wise.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of street smarts in business dealing. Like you don't go on YouTube at a karaoke bar when you're trying to hide from somebody.
Right, right, and or you I mean, let's get to the but before we continue, are there any other positives that you wanna mention?
Any positive? I have a lot. Good writing, really solid writing, very realistic for a faith-based film. It wasn't unrealistic and corny. I thought for a relationship, believe it or not, guys, those relationships happen where people can talk and not, you know, screw at the drop of a hat. Like two fine people can get together without having sex and having conversations
This
first.
is
Like
true, this is facts.
that's actually very possible, and find people too. They'd be like, "Well, it's the ugly Christians that don't be" like, no, like, it's,
Said that.
two fine, disciplined, spiritually mature people can keep it in their pants. I almost said
I didn't
something,
know you had
but
that's funny, Kim. Anyway,
it's true. I like that it wasn't unrealistic. Very, very realistic. Like, yeah, I like that they went country with her music. Um, Also very realistic. We're seeing, Beyonce. A lot of people are frustrated because they're like, "Why are we acting like Beyonce is the first one that had a country album?" Like so many black male and female artists were doing country before Beyonce did, So, but I really like that, and I really like that they brought Babyface in a realistic way. Like certain when you're in a certain class, a certain echelon, like depending on where you are in business, like it's actually very probable for a vineyard owner to know Babyface if you're in the area, because if you own a vineyard, you make friends with investors, you make friends with people that have money, people who are connected. So it wasn't like this far-fetched thing. So I thought the movie was actually very grounded to talk about the positives, Brandon. You muted.
darn it, sorry. That was another positive of mine, the, Babyface, inclusion. He acted very well. It makes sense just like you said, for this line of work, this line of business. Them recording music together was lovely.
I
Them
like
growing together and him surprising her with the blindfold, I thought was really cute. I thought it was touching. I love that type of stuff. Shows that he's being real thoughtful and he's listening and all of that hot jazz. Love it. Love it, love it. And when they was actually recording music while she was performing with him, it sounded like they was actually recording live right there. And when they
Mhm.
was in the booth, they actually sounded like they was recording as well. I say it like that for a reason. But that is going to sum up the positives of the movie for me. Now I just want to transition over to the negatives. We talked about Ruth and her being wise. Like, yeah, a lawyer should have been involved. And I didn't. The one thing I did not like about her character was the lack of communication. I felt that she
Mhm.
should have let Naomi know what the deal was early on. not just I wanna randomly move with you, like, no, I had to this had to deal with me because of a contract, not tell her at the very end. But also, why did she go to the police, at the very beginning of the film? And so you just ran? I mean, this guy just murdered your fiance and future father-in-law, and you don't wanna say anything to anybody, you just leave. I mean, it's not like Psy is over it's not like he's Shredder over the Foot Clan or whatever, League of Assassins or just some, dynasty hidden group for 5,000 years and there's no escape. This is one man with a black guy named Wolf. Okay,
And he's slow?
yeah,
He's strong, but he's slow.
am I tripping? Or okay, okay. Something else that didn't work for me. We love Felicia Rashad. But I did not like the narration in this movie.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
thought
Okay.
no, I thought it cheapened it. I didn't think it was necessary at all. If you was gonna do it at the very beginning and the end, but it just kept going and going and going and going. It was jarring. It did not feel like a natural story to me at all. I was just like, "Stop it. Just let the movie play out naturally. This isn't necessary." Okay? I can see what's going on. I don't need you to tell me. But I see you disagree there.
No, no, I kinda understand. I get it. No, I don't disagree. I get it. I liked it, but I can also see how it would be a bit annoying.
I got you. Okay.
So I don't totally disagree. I liked it, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, though.
Um, the editing started to fall apart for me, in the middle of the movie.
Mhm,
I think at one point, it had to be weeks, but months have went by.
mhm.
The relationship between Ruth and Boaz was well established that they liked each other and that they were seeing each other for quite some time. But then randomly in the middle of the movie, Ruth comes clean to Naomi and just starts trying to take responsibility. Like she's like apologizing, like, "Hey, I do apologize for what happened, with your son and husband. That shouldn't have happened." And she's like, "This has nothing to do with you. That was just a random act of life for God." And I'm just like, this conversation should have happened within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the film. Why is it happening in 1 hour and 10? This doesn't make any sense. And then they tried to transition into it was just real sloppy
Mhm.
to me. Do you know what I'm talking about? How do you feel?
No, no, I do. You actually put a finger on something that I was wondering because I was like, there is something off about the second act, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But I think you just made sense out of it because I did like the first act, but going to the second act, we were starting to. It's kind of tough to mesh timelines. I know it's easy when we have weather, right? Like it's easy when you see them doing a picnic in a sunny harvest day, and then when you see them getting hot chocolate and it's snowing, like, it's easy to understand the passing of time, but because you were kinda like, "Where are we in the timeline? Like, is this 3 weeks in? Like, is he saying he loves her, like, on the first date?" Like, they had their first date and the kiss, and then she ran off, and then she's at the harvest festival singing a song about how you open my eyes to love, like, whoa girl, slow down, like I kind of lost, like, where are we in the timing of things, and I think that's what kind of made the bread start to crumble apart for me a
I
little bit.
hated the third act.
You
I
did.
this
He came in with a passion.
this movie
Hated it.
I mean, all the positive that we just talked about, it was pretty decent. It was pretty
Uh-huh.
straight. It wasn't a masterpiece, but I was like, okay, Tyler Perry. I mean, I know you didn't direct this, but you produced this, and okay, decent job. But the third act was trash. It just went nose crash.
No, he did not. It was
No, Kimberly, the scene here where they're on the date, right at towards the end of this is where everything started to fall apart
love the waterways.
because
Uh-huh.
he washed the feet, crushing the grapes, and everything is going great and perfect. And then all of a sudden, the clock strikes midnight, like, oh God, I gotta leave out of nowhere. And you've been the perfect guy, but I just got actually before I even go there, this was just too hallmarky or not whimsical fairy tale because
Okay, I understand.
even though I think that they look good together, they have great chemistry, they look like a match made in heaven. Even the best relationships aren't perfect. There's always
Okay.
gonna be some type of strife or disagreement here and there. That was nowhere remotely for this couple. They just got along, and there was no
Mhm.
tension or anything. I mean, it's only an hour and a half movie, but when you have romances, even comedies or dramedies, there's always usually a fallout when you go from the second and third act. And
Yeah.
here, I felt it was artificial. They just had to make
Mm.
something up to where she felt you're too perfect. I have to leave the date. And so, as you said, the next scene, she shows up at the vineyard and then she's singing, "Yeah,
I love you, boy. So what?
and I want to do that right now. Bo, I wrote this for you. I love, like, I'm just like, wait a minute.
When did you write it?
You just left the vineyard, you left him cold with grapes on his feet, and now you're singing to the top of your lungs. And then, Kimberly, right after that, you see the white devil there. You don't stop. You
Why
don't
you gotta be
say,
white devil?
hey, all black people and brown people that are here, the one white man is there. He's standing out like a sore thumb. He's threatening my life. Tackle him, grab him, call the police. No,
Yeah.
she just sings and love
Fire.
keeps going. And on top of that, Kim, I said that her vocals sounded great at other points in the film when she was actually in the booth with a microphone and headphones or recording with Babyface. It felt like a live recording at that moment. During this scene, it did not seem like she was performing live. It was obvious that there was a recording and this was some type of lip service or lip syncing, and it just did not seem natural at all. Then they cut over to Mr. Tyler Lipley right here, and he's trying to put on the fake tears and grabbing his chest and like, oh, I love it. Was just the corniest of the corny. I'm just like, man, I was loving y'all relationship right here. But then when you got to this part right here, it's just, all phony baloney. So
Oh
she
man.
leaves him with the grapes on his feet. Then out of nowhere, and starts singing a confession of love for him. But as soon
This
as
is my
the
confession.
winery is on fire, she says, I'm sorry, Bo. I have to leave out of nowhere. I have to pack my bags and
Girl.
just go. I'm like, oh my God, this is the dumbest writing ever in life. You just changed your mind 3 different times in 6 hours. And it just seems stupid. And then his acting went down the crapper too. Like, oh no, what am I gonna do now? And he's kicking the wood, and I'm like, what happened? What happened? The movie was good, and then it just face planted down in a fiery flame, and I'm left frustrated. I don't know what happened in the third act. I mean, I was a little passionate rant right there, but it really fell apart for me. Um,
I get it.
do you agree or disagree?
No, I get it. I get it. I don't feel like it was trash, but I get what you're saying, Brandon, because one, you already abandoned him once. I would have preferred she said after it burned down, after homegirl turned your great vintage into kombucha, it would have been really nice if she said, I've got to go and work this out. I've got to go and fix this. Or I'm going to go and face this and fix this. Not, damn, and your wine too? I think I'm gonna leave. Like, what? You just left like a week ago.
Yeah,
Why are you doing this? Like, I would have preferred her go, no, Boaz, like, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna go, well, when are you coming back? I don't know, but once I do, it'll be fixed, or I will get vengeance, or this is thousands of homegirl, this was thousands of dollars and it was your fault. You
yeah,
can't just leave.
yeah.
Again, it's like the
Always leave.
contract.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling these tight booty shorts. I gotta go. You know what? They burned down your whole inheritance and then some, and all these people lost their job. You know what I'm gonna do? Leave.
To try
Like,
to try to give her,
I
I'm sorry.
no, 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 go for it.
To try to give her credit, I know that at one point she was having a conversation with Boaz about her a rough upbringing and why she's kind of like hard and tough or like not that social. So
Yeah,
it makes sense given her background. I kind of just wish they would have fleshed it out a little bit more. I mean, it was just really annoying, and it just didn't seem right. Just
yeah.
leaving like
And and I like, his friend, by the way. I really liked his friend, his partner in crime there on the vineyard, but, I would've it's just it's almost like the writers were on a roll and just on a roll. Like I imagine writers like, in a space together having coffee going, yeah, yeah. And then, oh, and then she says this, yeah, I like that. I like that. But like when you have two writers or a writer, life happens. And a good writer is that you can get back into your flow because you sometimes you get writer's block. Like you got like a Nobel Prize worth writing in the beginning, but then you got Lifetime movie at the end. So I feel like something happened with the writing where they lost their juice a little bit towards the end of the movie, or maybe the studio was like, "Yeah, yeah, how are we doing on that Ruth and Boaz?" Yeah, so you don't have 6 months anymore. You have like 2 days to get me the rest of the script. That's what it felt like, and they were like, "What?"
Yeah,
And then it burns down, and then she leaves. She leaves. Have her leave
yeah,
again. Like, that's what it felt like. The writing deteriorated a bit for me at the end. I do like that Naomi came through with the shotgun.
yes, yes,
I
yeah.
love that. And I will not miss next time. But I would have liked more confrontation of Ruth finding her footing as a courageous woman to stand up to this guy and I don't know, burn him with some hot grits. I just do. I
Yeah.
would have liked her and Boaz to him to go like, wait, she's gonna face this guy on her own. No, let me go after her. I wanted her to pick up her cape. I wanted her to put her cape on
Yeah.
and take responsibility and don't run away. Run some the best saying I ever heard in my youth, like in youth group, when they were talking about like taking the word up as your sword, is they said never run at your giant with your mouth closed. And I heard that when I was like 15, and to this day, I have I if I got a tattoo, that's what it would be: is never run at your giants with your mouth closed. And I wanted to see that moment from Ruth. I wanted to see her go, "You're done ruling my life. You're done. Da 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 da. You killed my boyfriend. You killed, and now I'm gonna." I would have preferred her to have the shotgun. Heck, I would have preferred some John Wick action and had Naomi and Ruth like pow 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 like, give me something courageous from her. And I didn't like that she kind of was just a lily in the wind, like, "Oh, I'm leaving again. Oh no, like, get your footing, girl, cowboy up."
Yeah,
So I didn't like that. I do agree with you that it kind of fell apart at the end and got rushed.
yeah, it was they definitely hit the fast forward button.
Yeah.
The ending was cute with the wine, working out. I don't
Yeah.
know how realistic that is or not, so hey, cute ending, at least they was able to wrap it up as far as that's
I
concerned.
like that he explained that it should have been turned into vinegar.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Is this how we got kombucha?" But, but I li hey, I mean, maybe it does happen, you get some bottles saved. I like that I like the way it ended, but I would have preferred, yeah, some
are those your, final thoughts?
yeah, those are my final thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, with me, overall, I thought it was pretty decent. I was happy at first and kind of sad and disappointed at the end. I think you hit the nail on the head, Kim. It's like they thought they had this much time to write the rest of the movie, and but it's like, oh no, you don't have a month. You got 2 days. It's like what? Okay, let's hurry up and finish this.
Mhm.
I thought the casting was great. I thought the acting was pretty decent. The production was nice too. I didn't feel like there was any cheap extras in the back with bad wigs or wearing robes and looking crazy or anything like the structure as far as it adapting Ruth and Boaz, I thought was done pretty well. The relationships felt real for the most part, and it was an enjoyable movie overall. It just really fell apart at the end and got super duper corny. I don't know what happened, and it's really disappointing. As far as Tyler Perry's produced films, this is definitely not his best, but this is definitely not his worst either.
Not his worst.
Not his worst. It's in the middle, on the more positive end of the middle. I think out of all the Tyler Perry movies we reviewed, I probably like this one the least. But he has so many.
Woo!
Because at this time we did Why Did I Get Married 1 and 2,
Mhm.
Family That Prays, I Can Do Better All by Myself, Medea's Family Reunion, A Diary of a Black Woman, Dad's Little Girls, Good Deeds, And, I mean, this one right here is kinda competing with Good Deeds. I maybe like Good Deeds slightly more than this, I
Yeah.
don't know, but we do have a lot of Tyler Perry reviews on our channels. You can start checking that out at Kimberly's channel. Link is in the description. It's right here. What's good, Kimberly? Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. If you are watching this on Kimberly's channel, here you go. But you can also subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching this on her channel, subscribe to my channel. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But Kimberly,
Yeah, no, you got that right.
at this time, we have 10 Tyler Perry movies recorded. 10. I
We
have
did it!
20. Yeah, and we have 10. We got again Ruth and Boaz. Why did I get married? One. Why did I get married? Two. The family that prays. I can do bad all by myself. Good deeds. Daddy's little girls.
Dia's family reunion.
His family reunion. And for color girls and Ruth and Boaz. So we got 10. So if you're watching this, at least half of those right now are at least published on our channel. So go check
Yeah,
it out.
I'll
Uh,
be posting mine soon.
yes,
So
ma'am. Yes,
we're
ma'am.
gonna. I'm posting mine a little closer to the debut of the new Tyler Perry film.
And well, I think by the time this video comes out, it would have already been. I don't know. It's so many videos.
We've done so many, you guys. But Brandon, I have to say, well, one, thank you for asking me to review these Tyler Perry films. I was so like when you were like, let's review Tyler Perry, and I was like, but why? Porque why? But honestly, like I've really enjoyed revisiting these films because now that I revisit them, I'm like, oh yeah, me and my family had a blast in the theater when
Mm,
we first saw this. Like, but like his early work, I forgot how much fun Tyler Perry's early work was. I forgot how many wonderful actors he brought out from Kerry Washington to Blair Underwood to Cicely Tyson. And I'm like, and it just reminded me of like, oh yeah, like Black Hollywood was really, dead in the water until he came along. So I think we really, as much criticism sometimes as we give Tyler Perry, we really got to give him his props
yeah,
for he's really kind of upheld Black Hollywood in the years before all of the social movements of the past 6 years, where channels like HBO, we got Black Lady Sketch Show, and where studios were really investing. He was really the only one investing in our community, so I gotta give it to him for that. I just want to put a call to action out to the TP people and himself included to look at your old work and really remember the magic that we all fell in love with, and please get back to that because it's been a far stray. So
yes. We have one more to do, and that's his newest film, Tyler Perry's Finding Joy. It's a romance film that's premiering on November 5th on Amazon Prime. May have other videos to do, but guys, again, we're doing this because Straw came out, I think July of this year. I didn't like it. I don't think Kim did either. We like 688, so we were just like, let's just stay on the positive Tyler Perry movies that
six
we like.
triple eight, bro.
So that's what we're doing right now. So, guys, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's Kimberly, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.